So right now in this data, right now department 2 have no any sales designation people persons. We check this managers, there is no any managers. Have accountant. So let's we change some data over here. We take the ABC Limited and this department 1. In the department 1, sorry, in department 2. So right now there's a two designation, accountant and officers. We change some officers as a sales. Right now I'm changing this officer as a sales, like as a manager. That's also a manager. So if I'm changed as a department 2 and we take it as a sales, it's 27,600. Okay. Over in this data, we also change some people's salary as very low, like 8,500 in department 1. That is very junior level accountant. That salary is 8,500. Then in other persons, like this is 7,500. So I want to finding out those people who are initially joining in the company, because Samif and Samif has they just checking all the salaries criteria. But right now I'm making more criteria. Right now on less than 10,000 salary, how much employees they have and the total of the employees. So on that time we are using a D sum functions. So for creating the D sum functions, we taking first of all the header. We take the company name, department designation and salary header over here. We just copy it and we just paste the header over here. Then after, first of all, we put the company name in which company. So then ABC Limited. In this ABC Limited, if we checking the department 1 and the accountant whose salary is less than 10,000. So we need that sum. So we make some of the criteria over here. Samif and Samif F's function, they have the limitations. They're just checking all the salaries, but I want to add the criteria on salary base also. So over here, we just using a D sum function. So first of all, understand, we just take the first of all the header file also, because if we not take the header file, they are not showing the proper value over here. I just make the mistake and I show you that how that creating the error. So first of all, they're asking the database. You have to see this criteria. This is asking the database, then field, and then criteria. So we take all the database with the header name. We take all the database. So simply we select Control and Shift and down arrow and select the whole the database. Then comma. We take the field. We just checking the salary, comma, and the whole the criteria. Bracket close. So they checking the two peoples who have the salaries below than 10,000 and they make their sums. So those employees who are juniors, they initially based to joining the company and we want to find out their salary also. So we using this D sum functions. So this is analytical formulas where we are using to finding out any data with the given our raw data. So these things we just checking the salary as well as we also finding out the how much managers in both company we have. Even the ABC Limited in department 1, how much sales executives they have. So we using also in the countif function as well as countif. So they asking the range. we take the range. So simply Control Shift and down arrow, we take the range, and then after we take the criteria, there is a manage risk criteria. So in both company, there are total 28 managers they have. If we checking the accountant, so in both company they have total 39 accountants we have. Right now, this kind in ABC Limited in Department 2, how much sales executive are representing right now? So we're using a count. First of all, we take the first of all criteria. So first criteria is company name. So we just selecting the company sections, comma. We take the criteria as ABC Limited. Then our second criteria, we select all the departments and we take the department. Then after we select all the designation section, comma, and we take the designations. So right now in ABC Limited in Department 2, there is only the 2 sales executive people they have. But we're talking about the accountant. So right now there is a 10 accountant people they have. And we're taking the officers. So right now we have the 7 officers in Department 2. This sales executive, and we just taking our department number 1. So that is in 19 sales executives in XYZ Limited. It is only the 6. So we also finding out how much designation people are presenting in particular department in particular company. Over here we also taking those peoples. There are only 2 people we know that. So we finding out the data. All the 2 they have the 2 peoples whose salary is less than 10,000. So we using over here D count. Basically there is a 2 formulas, count and count A. So we are using a count A over here because in count A they take the numbers and character both. In count only they take the numbers. So we take the count A function. In the count A, we just taking all the database. We select the name as well as comma and field. We take the salary, comma, and we take all the criteria. This is company name, department, salary. So this is only the 2 people's right now presenting in whose salary is less than 10,000. So this is a sum if as function and D sum functions where we finding out any person's salaries in particular department, particular company, and those people who are new joinings with this company who is a senior most. We also finding those kind of the salaries as well as. So that is very useful function. Sum if as, sum if as, and the D sum functions. So we're getting all the data. So this is the topic number 1 where we see all the data from the raw data and we filter out the particular salaries into the different sections. Right now we just checking another our task is as a loan calculations. I hope you can understand. If there anyone have the query regarding this, anyone have the problems? Okay, so we just if anyone have this problem and issue, so we just taking in the last sessions. So we do the question and answer round. So we just sort out your all the doubts and we clear your all the doubts. So moving to the other sections, that's we call as a CAGR, compound annual growth rate. As we know that basically data science and data analysts more frequently using for the financials companies because they have very good historical data, and this in historical data we can analyzing what is the performance of the company, what new product we are launching in the market, even though also we can analyze in which company we do the sum of the fundings. So basically a CAGR using for the financial institute. But I'm going to show you one things over here. In Excel, they have some of the bugs right now. Right now I'm putting the 1 over years and I make them as a date. as a short date. So there is a 111900. There is the initial data on an Excel. Okay. So before 1900 years, they are not working. So the company who is right now 3 to 400, 400 years old, so we can't take their old data. मतलब we 19900, the previous date we are not using. There is a initial date. The Excel is starting for this date. Okay. And second things, in analysis, we using a control and tile button. This is control and tile. So they show our all the datas and formulas. This is Excel editing mode, which is very useful for us to see where the data is located right now or here. So there is a hard coded value. There is a formula value. So control and tile button. This is control and tile button. So we see this there's editing mode and as well as the visible mode as well as. That is very important shortcut key to show the cell data right now over here. So right now we're going to the another section of the compound annual growth rate. So first of all, what is the CAGR? CAGR basically using for the financial industries where any company needs some kind of the fund. So we first of all checking their compound annual growth rate. So let's we take one of the example. Right now we have one of the company which name is ABC Limited. This starting 2010 with the 1,20,000 rupees. In 2010 to 2011, they getting the 12% of increasement in their growth. 2010 to 2011, they getting the 12% growth, and 2011 to 2012, they getting the 8% growth, and 2012. बंद करें सेशन सर हमने कितने से सेशन चल ये देखिए तो प्लीज आवाज ना था 2012 to 2013 they are the -2% they have loss, and 13 to 14 they're making the 5% growth, and 14 to 15 they're getting the 8% growth. Right now we make some of the formula. Just 1,20,000 into the 12% plus 1,20,000. So we make this kind of the growth. 2015, 1,61,320. So what is a CAGR? So how much this ABC Limited is growing right now in the market. So there's a formula is closing balance divide by opening balance power 1 divided by how much year we are using. So 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and 5 years. So we're putting the 5 years minus 1. So that's growth rate is 6%. So we know that the ABC's growth rate is 6%. So some investment company, if the growth rate is more than 8%, so they are investing over their company. So this company's growth rate is 6%. That means the ABC Limited is growing right now, but the growth rate is 6%. So we have questions right now. There is an average. So that's we can't say this is the average. There are little bit an average, but there are many huge difference between the average and CAGR. Right now we're taking also the average. We take an average. So there is also the 6%, but this 6% and this 6% both are the different. Let's be checking out the 6 different between the CAGRs and an average. We just copy it and we just paste only within value. And we just copy this formula into this cell. You have to see that the both value 1,61,310, the both value are going to be matched. So company's growth rate is 6%. Right now we take an average. We just copy the average. सेशन चल रहा है एक सेशन चल रही है जरा बच्ची कराओ ना ये सीटिंग सेशन चल रहा है So right now you have to see the difference between them. This is 1,61,310 and it is 1,62,108. So that is a different between them. We take the average and we take the CAGR. So this is a CAGR formula: closing balance divided by opening balance power by 1 divided by 5 minus 1. So 5 representing the year. So right now this kind of the formula is not presenting over here. We just taking the CAGR. So this kind of the formula is not shown over here. Hello. Some P Shilpa.
Yes, Vishal bhai.
Someone is the, just 1 minute. Someone is take the who is the Shilpa? They have some questions right now.
Vishal bhai, you just complete your session, then we will
Okay.
take later on last 15 or 20 minutes.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. So we take this formula opening by 1 divided by. So this CAGR formula is not mentioned over here. Formula is not mentioned over here. So sometimes we have to creating our own formula from the Excel so we can use it. So right now we go to the developer sections. In this developer section, we say that Visual Basics, macro. We take the in the next level of the what is the macro, how we are using, and how we creating a dashboard for that. We first of all taking the Visual Basic over here. We go to the Visual Basics. So this kind of the integrated development environment you have to see over that. This is like one kind of the VBA. We know about Visual Basic programming. So this is the initial base of So over here we take a module because there is a user form. So we creating a software form. We create with using the user forms, and we take the module section over here. In this module section, first of all we take the function. There is not any formula right now in mentioned in my Excel sheet. So we create our own CAGR formula. CAGR. Opening bracket, closing bracket, and enter. So this is a formula right now over here. There is the opening balance divided by closing balance, power 1 divided by how much year we take that. Okay. So first of all, the same name which we have to be right now representing over here, we take over here CAGR is equal to first of all closing balance CLO divided by opening balance power 1 divided by year minus 1. So we take this parameter CLO as a long fire as a long. So we're creating one of the formula. Right now we see over here is equal to CAGR. So right now they're representing the CAGR, but this is my user defined function. CAGR, we take the closing balance, comma, opening balance, and the year. I take the 5 years. They're also representing the month, we are representing the compound annual growth rate data. %. So basically, right now you have to see there's the TCS, Wipro, HCLs. We take their base amount, which we finding out there in balance sheets and their performance ratios. So we also finding that closing balance, and then we have to find out that CAGR. If the CAGR is more than right, I'm investment company, and we just selecting that the companies whose has compound annual growth rate is more than 8%, we are investing those companies stocks and debentures and securities. So right now this kind of the data is displayed for me like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and HCL. So we make the whole formula. So first of all, there is opening balance, base balance. We need that closing balance in 2015. So right now we're creating the formula. And then after bracket, and we just drag them. Okay, so we need the closing balance. So we creating inner level of the formulas. So we just select these things, copy this, we just putting over here. Right now the same things I do it over here. So there is the inner level of the formulas. We're creating the inner level of formulas. So right now we're getting the ending level of the value. Just one minute. Sankesh. કેમ અહીંયા સેશન ચાલે છે અવાજ થાય છે. We just copy it, and where is it? The 18. We just remove it. Maybe put over here. We do the same formula for other more formula as well as. We just copy it. We make them unit. Over here we also copy it. All the data. This is a closing balance for me. We just dragging out. We just simple using our formula CAGR, where the closing balance, comma, opening balance, comma, we taking the 5 years for checking any company's data for the CAGR purpose. The CAGR is 9%, 8%, 7%, 5%. So in HCL, they're growing the 5%, but we are not investing because our criteria is 8 and more than 8%. So Infosys and HCL, we are not investing, but we are investing on Wipro and TCS. So that's we call a compound annual growth rate. We also checking these things all already into the Python as well as in we creating a whole the dashboard system for the CAGR. We just show you how we are calculating on in Excel CAGR, and then after we are implementing into MySQL and as well as into the Python as well as. So that's our second topic, how to finding out the CAGR and why the CAGR is very important. There also we as a data analytical tools where we finding out their compound annual growth rate for any companies. That's not an average, that is totally different things for an average because they getting accurate data. When we take the average, so we getting the minor difference between the two values, but when we take the CAGR value, so they get the actual value at the end of the closing balance. So we not taking the average, we taking the CAGR, and that's how do we create a formula. We using the developers, we go to Visual Basics. Over there we take the modules, and with the function we creating all the functions where we putting all our formula, and we just set as parameters as well as. But right now the name in CAGR and the CAGRs both are going to be the same. If you take the uppercase, so take the uppercase. If they take the smaller case to smaller case, because if you are changing over here, so they take the mistakes in your result. So there is a CAGR. Right now, the other sections we are just checking out is our loan calculations. I hope you can got it about the CAGR, compound annual growth rate. But if you have any kind of the query regarding these things, if you have the query, so we just checking in the last sections. So what and how to be creating the formula. So if you have any error, so we make the many formulas as well as over here. We also make the formula from the closing balance as well as we just taking the whole the formula over here and we just putting into the formula section as well as. But yeah, remember these things. There's we take the long, double, and integer value. There is not any kind of the float value over here. And right now we just take the loan calculators. What is the loan calculators and how we are using the loan calculator? So everybody know that the EMI early monthly installments. So we just making some of the formula over here for the loan calculations. Right now I have the one amount is 1,20,000 rupees and my interest rate is 8% and I taking the loan for the 2 years. So first of all I want to finding out their EMI. So we just checking the financial formulas. This financial formula name is per month transaction, PMT. Uh, in this PMT, this is syntax is they have first of all the rate, then anchor, then PV, then FV, and then the type. So we checking each and every one, and then after we see the data tables how they're using for the data analytics purpose. So first of all, we taking the rate that is an 8%. Fan close कर दें, इसी करते हैं start. 8%, but right now the 8% is total for the year. We taking only for the particular months. So we just divide by 12. So they it converted 8% particular month. Then and per we take the 2 years. We know that in system doesn't know about the year, they only know the months. So this is they consider as a 2 months. So we multiply into the 12. So in the 24 months, the day approximately taking the 12 months, 24 2 years. Then after present value is 1,20,000. Remember one thing in Excel, if they're showing in a square bracket, that is a default value. If this is an option value, if you're taking the value for the square bracket, if you take the value for the square bracket, that's okay. Otherwise, you can just remove it. We take the future value as a 0. Right now I have no any kind of the future value. Then after type, so in PMT they have to show the two types. First of all, end of the period, and second is the beginning of the period. So if I'm taking the loan in the first day of the month and we pay their EMI on the ending of the month, so we take the end of the period and bracket close. So they'll show me the negative value because some formulas in Excel, if the amount is going from the honor side, so that they're representing the minus value. So to removing this minus, we just simply put in the minus in front of the PMT formula. So there is a 5,427 is an EMI. So EMI is including the both things. First of all, the principal amount and interest amount. So we just taking the principal amount, principal per month transaction. In the principal per month transaction, they are also asking the rate per N per PV, FV, and type. So we take the rate, that's 8% divided by 12. We take per as a per, we just checking for the EMI for first month. So we take the 1 over here, then per is we taking the 2 year, we converting into months into 12. And present value is 1,20,000, comma future value is 0, comma end of the period. We're also taking the minus value over here, and we're taking the interest per month transaction. We're taking the rate by 12, comma 1, comma n per 2 into 12, comma present value, future value is 0, comma end of the period. So the combination of these two things that this is our EMI value 5427. Okay, so let's we take their whole the chart, how much interest I have to pay and how much principal amount I have to be pay. So we make one of the chart, 24 months. Then of the principal amount. So we taking the rate. So first of all, we want to fix this cell over here, because right now in Excel, when we dragging the cell top to bottom, they are increment the cell values, just like B2 when we drag it out, that's B3, B4. So we want to be fixed. So we using the F4 keyword to make the fix these cells. Divide by 12. Then after per, we taking this per like this. First month, second month, third month, fourth month, then enter. We taking this months, we also make them as a constant into 12, comma, present value, this one like 20,000, we also make them constant, future value 0, and end of the period. And we just dragging out. So you have to see that in the first point, the principal amount is very low, but when you go into the last, the principal amount is increased. Right now, we're just checking the interest as well as. So we just take the rate. Right now, simple rate, we make them constant, divided by 12 per 1, comma, and per. Take the 2 years. So we create these 2 years into months. Then the principal amount, then future value, then end of the period. We just dragging this interest amount. So you have to see this interest amount is more in first one to two, or first of all interest amount is more, and then after the interest amount is going to be very lower. We just checking out the EMI. The both values combination is in EMI. We just checking the remaining amount. So we take the one like 20,000 minus, we remove the principal amount, and then after we take this principal amount, loan amount, and we also remove this principal amount, and we just dragging out. So you have to see at the end of the day, your value is going to be 0. This is one of the EMI formula. We can create our own chart, and we just finding out how much EMI we have. The next thing is we want to creating a chart. Right now we make this all the formula, but right now we want to creating chart. Like I doing the loan amount is 50,000, 1 lakhs, 1 lakh 20,000, 1 lakh 50,000, 2 lakhs, 2 lakh 50,000, 3 lakhs, and this is a different kind of the rate, and we give the length at least 2 years. So over here we want all the EMI value over here. So every time we make this PMT and we make this all the formula. So we are not doing this kind of things. So we are using one of the analytical formula which called as a data table. So first of all, in column and row, when we getting this cell, we just take the reference of the EMI. We take the reference of the EMI. We just simply take this reference over here, and then after we selecting all the data, we selecting all the rows and all the columns. You have to see this. First of all, take the reference value over here, and we selecting all the data over here. Then after we go to the data section. In data section, we getting the what if analysis. In what if analysis, we getting the data table. So in data table, they show me one of the window, and they asking me two values, row input values and column input values. So first of all, in this E1 cell where we take the reference of this EMI, in this EMI we creating we getting all data from over in loan amount. So first of all, in the row side we mention all the loan amount. So we row input, we take the loan amount like 1,20,000 because there's all the loan amount is in a row input, and then in column input we getting the all the interest. So we take the interest over here 8% and then okay. So we getting the all the data over here like 1,20,000 rupees 8%. So that is in EMI. If this 1 lakhs and the interest rate is 9% for the 2 years, so there is a 4, 5, 6, 8. So we take the we finding out all the EMI value over here with using a data table. If we simply change the year, because this is for the 2 years, if we check, we taking for the 3 years. So the loan amount is EMI is 36 for 1,20,000 8%, 3,760. So right now this is 1,20,000 at 8%, 1,360. If we checking 1 lakhs over here, 1 lakhs, and we taking the 9%. So this is the 9%. Just refresh it, but right now the value is going to be the same. 3,169. Right now, the origin value is 1,20,000 and 8% is the same. You have to see this. And in for the 9%, there is 3,179. If we take the value as a 11%, so this is 3,273. 3,273. So this data model with using the row input and column input, we finding all the EMI value in this section. So we creating any kind of the data with using simply we create one of the data over here. We make this formula and we take the reference over here. Otherwise, we also creating the formula over here as well as. And then after with this column data and with this row data, we're getting the whole details over here with using the what-if analysis, and we are using with the data table. There is a very interesting formula we are using. So right now we see these three things. First of all, analyzing data like a sum if, s, and d sum functions. Then after we show the CAGR functions where compound annual growth rate, and we finding out how to make the formulas and why the CAGR is different from the data average. And then after we see the loan calculations, we just making the whole the chart of the loan calculation, even though we creating the data table with the different loan amounts and different percentage. But the main thing is we checking only the two inputs like rates and loan amounts. If we are not checking with the three values, like this is a year over here, 3 years. We take the 2 years, so they all the data showing for the 2 years EMI data. So we are creating the chart as well as over here. I hope you can understand all the things over here. Right now we just taking the another sections which we call as a goal seek, and we finding out how the goal seek is very important for us to analyzing, to making the data, to finding out the particular product value. Okay. So right now we're creating one of the data over here. Right now I will be taking the 1,000 products over here. Their purchase price $120. So total is, then after we adding fixed value, fixed cost, like 50,000 is fixed cost, and variable cost make total. Then I put the sales price. I'm generally putting any sales price, just like I putting 150. Then sales total. So just checking profit and loss. Okay, so for the goal 6 we need a base price, like a break even point of this product. So we are using a goal 6 function over here, goal 6. Then the advanced version goal 6 is a solver. So first of all, the set price is sales. So in goal 6 we just set a goal as a B7, sorry, profit and loss. We set their goal and we putting as a 0 by changing which value, the sales price. So if we have inventory of the 1000 products, their purchase price is 120, and this is a variable cost and fixed cost we had been added. So right now we sell the product for 182. So they show me how the break even point is. If we want a profit of 20,000 rupees, so how much sales price I would like to be putting on the sales price over here. So with the goal 6, if I am taking 20,000 profit by changing which cells, so I have to sell these products in 202. If we have to take the product on the bulk, if I want to worry, I just make the sales price only 125 and I need a 25,000 profit as well as. So obviously we change their inventory as well as. So with the goal 6, we know that how much inventory we need. If we take the 20,000 profit, so by changing which value for the inventory. So I have sold 1,60,400 products. Then after in 125, then after we achieve the profit and loss, we take the profit as a 20,000 rupees. So this is a goal 6, and the advance of the goal 6 is basically used for the cross verifications, and which is a very important tools for the data analytical purpose. So we just checking the goal 6 and data tables in the what if analysis. So first of all, we repeated all the things. For the analysis, we just take the sum if and sum if space and dsum functions. Then after we show the CAGR, compound annual growth rate, where in compound annual growth rate we find how to be finding out the CAGR and how to be creating the formula as well as. Then after we saw the loan calculations, where we creating how we create using the PMT and PPMT functions to make our EMIs value and creating the chart. Then after we using the data table, in this data table we show that how we have to getting the all the EMI value when we have the loan amounts and their rate as well as. And the last we saw that how we are using a goal 6. Second thing is a future value, and we have to see it in a PMT and PPMT. PMT and PPMT, there is a present value and future value. There is very important segment over here, present value and future value. If someone has told me that if for future forecasting, like if I have the 1,20,000 amount and in yearly I have to getting the 8% increment, so after 2 years, what is my future value? So we are using a future value is equal to FV. So first of all, they're asking me the rate. So 8%. I'm divide this 8% divide by 12. Then N per. That is my total year, but I'm converting into the 12. Then this is a per month transaction. If you're getting any amount like any fixed amount on the particular time, so you have to putting in this PMT. But right now I'm putting this PMT as a 0. Then present value is 1,20,000, and the type is end of the period. So this my future value is 1,40,746. If so, in any company they give me the 8% increment. So my future value after 2 years is 1,40,746. Let's we check this how that should be useful for us. We make this chart as well as. we take the months over here. Then opening balance and interest balance. We take 24 months. So first of all, my opening balance is 1,20,000 and the interest. So first of all, in bracket, in 1,20,000 into, we take this 8%, but I make them constant, divide by 12. My per month interest I have to be done, and then 1,20,800 is my closing balance. So this is my closing balance. So this next month is my opening balance. I'm just dragging the value over here. So let's check. So 1,40,741. We're getting the exact value over here. If we remove this floating point, 1,40,741. So we just finding out how we do the calculation. Even this within the future value, we also getting the present value as well as the reverse formula. We also using like in PV value. So we just putting a minus value because it is a this financial formula show that negative values. So we take the rate 8% divided by 12, comma hand per. We take 2 years into 12, comma per month transaction is going to be 0, comma future value is 1,20,000, comma this is the end of the period. You have to see this 1,20,000. So right now we want to be reverse calculations. If we have the this kind of the future value and we want to finding out their present value, what is this present value is? Right now we take the chart and take the here we take the months. So if the opening balance is 1,40,741 and we need that closing balance on the after, because right now sorry, I'm not taking this 1 to 24, but we take the reverse. So we take the 24, 23, 22, we take the reverse value. So we need that closing balance. So we take this as an assignment. You just finding out what is this closing balance is right now. We are using the goal 6 functions. We want to find out right now over here is 1,20,000. That is an assignment, because when you're checking this, the percentage ratio is going to be in a change. When we do this kind of the task and we take it as a reverse calculation, so the interest amount is going to be in a change. So we take them in as an assignment. So we just checking in the last portion of the this session. Okay, so this is the PV and FV value where we checking the present value as well as in its future value. One things I have to also show you that you have some confusion right now. What is the ending value and what is the beginning value? What is the end of the period in PMT, PPMT, and IPMT? Even though in PV and FV, you have to see many times the end of the period and the beginning of the period. So when I taking the beginning of the period, so the example is right now. If I'm taking the beginning of the period, the ratio is going to be changed. First of all, we have to see this. When I'm taking the 0, the value is 4660. Just I copy it and I just paste it as a value. Okay. So when I'm changing 0 into the 1 as the beginning of the period, the value going to be in a change. This is a 4618 and this is a 4660. When right now we see this, when we also be changing over here, we take the 1 beginning of the period. 1. So this is what they say, what this meaning is. When I'm taking the loan, right now in 1st January I'm taking the loan, and in first day I also pay my EMI. So that is not an interest rate being calculated. So this EMI value is 4618. The principal amount is 4618. Over here, what we see that in 1st January we take the loan and the EMI we have to pay at the end of the month. So the end of the month is 4660. But when we pay the EMI on first day, when we taking the loan on first day, and we also pay the EMI on first day. So this is a 4618. So that is a principal. There is a beginning of the value and ending of the value representing this. So when you are pay the EMI value in first day, so there is no any principal amount and there is no any EMI right now. So there is a beginning of the value and ending of the value. But generally we are using the ending of the period, not the beginning of the period. Okay. So I hope right now you we getting the all the data, and with the 3 tasks we had been performing, and the last is remaining, we just putting into the hold because we just checking out this reverse calculations. I hope you have to do the within a interval period, and I need that on the first month I need over 1,20,000. How we getting? If I'm doing the simple these things, but they have some issues right now. When I take the interest right now, 1,20,000 many, I just taking 1,20,000 over here, and into in a bracket when I'm taking the 8%. Jankesh, 4 divided by 12. So this interest is going to be a different. This is 938 and this is 932. I need a 932.0.96 over here. So when I'm taking the 8%, the value going to be in change. So that is our assignment. We finding out how this value we make the 9320. What we do the changing over here. So we getting over 932.960 because this is 938. So the value is going to be changed because when I'm taking 1,40,740 minus 9360, so value is going to be change. See, this is my closing balance. The next one is going to be an opening balance. We take the same thing over here. We just copy it and we're taking at the end of the period. The value is going to be changed. This is 1,19,872, and we need 1,20,000. So this is assignment how do we make the changes over here. So we just checking out this is the end of the period in last. Okay. So first of all, anybody have some questions for this? So we taking at the end of the day. I hope you have been enjoy with these 3 sections. Manisha ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, right now there is the other formula which is a advanced filter we taking on second sessions because it's too much bigger than the other session. तो हम वो बाद में रखेंगे तो चलेगा मतलब आफ्टर 2:30 के बाद.
Okay, ठीक है. Second session will start on 2:30. So in 10 minutes, if anybody has some doubt,
Sure.
we can clear it, and then we close session at 2 p.m. Then we'll again start at 2:30 p.m. Right?
Sure. And I give you another assignment. Actually, right now this is 152. So this is an assignment for all the participation. This basic formula we have to be right now. So they have to finding out the closing balance, but there the closing balance is 1,20,000. So I use all the formulas. You make the sum of the logic, and I want to getting the 1,20,000 over here. So at the end of the session, I also explain how we show this result value. Okay. So ma'am, can I close this session over here? We put in hold over here.
If someone has doubt, let us discuss
Sure,
for 5-7
please.
minutes and then we will stop, right?
Okay. Anyone have doubts, please?
Ghanshyam sir, can
yes,
we unmute
yes,
some? We can unmute it.
I will allow everyone to unmute. Can unmute and they can ask the doubts.
Yes.
Yes, Bharat Bhai has raised your hand. If anyone has doubt, please raise your hand so we can announce the name and we can discuss.
We take as a basic formulas right now. This is the first session is so we take the very basic formulas over here. If any person have any doubts, so please raise your hand and just ask the question. Yes, Bharat bhai.
Hello, Vishal bhai.
Ji.
Okay, when we write the functions, okay, using VBA.
Yes.
I think we need to save it as a macro enable file, right?
Yes, macro enable. Yes, we have to save in.
Okay. Now, can we write multiple functions? Like, for example, function overloading. I'm talking in terms of, okay. Can we have multiple forms of the same functions?
Yes, and I'm hear you.
Yeah. So can I write the multiple functions with the different? Okay, I am talking
Definitely.
about.
Right now, many functions is module. This is a module right now. You can make many functions over here, not just only one function. See, I have to create another functions over here as well as see. In I taking the CAGR. See, I want to creating the closing balance function. This is one of the function I have to
about only one function, CAGR I'm talking, not multiple functions.
Now we are creating another function as well as like GST functions. GST function, right?
I'm not talking the different functions. I am talking about the same functions multiple times.
Same function with the multiple time, but on that time you are
changing the
basically
parameter.
We are not using the same function because the parameter is going to be changed because it's not totally like a Java programming language. It's not like method overloading kind of the function.
Yes. So
parameter
okay, I got it.
Parameter is going to be a change. So they are a little bit confused because see when we creating the function over here, they are not mention any kind of the syntax over here. You have to see this.
Parameter we can give, yes.
Yes, we not you are taking the multiple name because you have to make some changes over here.
Okay, Vishal bhai,
yes, I got it.
That is not the method overloading kind of the things in Python in Java because they're not showing the syntax over here. See, I have to just clicking on the CAGR. They're not showing the syntax. When we put any function over here, like I'm taking a SUMIF function. See, they have to show me all the criteria range, and sum range. Over here, they are not showing me any kind of the criteria. So you can create the different name with the other functions as well.
Yeah, that's quite possible. Yes.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Vishal bhai.
One minute. Vishal bhai.
Ji, ma'am.
There is one query. How can they enable VBA from Excel? So you just show that those steps so they can enable that.
What do you say, ma'am? Pardon, I'm not. What do you say?
Means they are not able to find out VBA option in their Excel file. So from
which Excel,
where they can enable VBA.
Right?
Yeah.
See, okay, I show you where you getting the developer section. When you go into the file, first of all in file, then after the option. In this option, you have to see this is a general, this is general formation, that is a formula, then proofing, I give you the one of the instruction. This is a general, basically mini toolbar, quick layout. There all the things are mentioned over here. This is a basic formula. When you're clicking the R1 C1 formula over here, so you're getting all the details. Like R1, you have to see this ABC is going to be changed. There is 1, 2, 3. When we do the macro, so that time we are not using this A, B, and C. We are using this kind of the R1 and C1 function. Okay, so in a file option, this is formula that show all the formulas. That's proofing, then saving. By default, the auto recovery file is 10 minutes. We recommend it when you are using any kind of the Excel file, you to put this in a 2 minutes. So if any power cutoff or anything happens, your file is automatically saved. And this is a path where the file is saving right now. And you have to see these customized ribbons. In customized ribbons, that's all the menu you have to see over here. Home, insert, page layout, formula. So by default, the developer tab is unselect. So you have to select this developer tab and then put the OK button. So the developer tab is showing in your sheet. You can hide and display any tab, even though we can create even our O tab as well. As when you go into an option and we go to the customize ribbons, we creating our own tab as well as over here. Just like I creating a new tab after insert, I just creating new tab. I take the tab name, rename Vishal. Okay, and in this group name, I also named group name filter. Okay, with this group you can put any formulas, just like popular formula, all command, tab related formulas. In popular command, we just filter and add into the filter and OK. So you have to see this. This is my Vishal tab, and there is a filter section. I have to putting the one of the tools filter. So in option, customize ribbons, you're getting all the details. Right now, I'm going to delete over here. I just remove it. The one thing is important. We are using a 2013 version over here. We're using 2013. I'm recommending you please using the 2013 and higher version like 2016, 2019, because some formula is not showing in 2007 as well. As I show you one of the advanced formula where we have to getting all the details regarding when we assign some of the projects. So how much time we getting to completing these projects. So on that time, some formula is not useful for in 2013, and we are not seeing it's not available in 2007. They are only available in 2013, 2016, 2019 only. Any questions? Yes, anyone have questions?
Yeah, whatever the formulas you have discussed so far, are they specific to only Excel, or can we use any open source Excel sheets which are available like in Ubuntu or any other operating systems?
Basically, in Microsoft Excel, they're providing macro facility when we are using iOS and another open software.
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Just 1 minute. Hello. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. ये hold पे चला गया था. Yes. Anyone have questions? Hello.
Yeah. So can we use any open source?
This kind of macro is only available in Microsoft or other technologies like open source and as well as. Am I right?
Yeah.
So first of all, sir, in when we are working with the iOS operating system, just like Mac operating system. So they're not supporting the macro because they are very secure. Hello. In open software, some kind of we are using the macro as well as, but in Microsoft Excel they give the lots of functionality compared to any software.
Can I, because the Microsoft has given away their support to VB, I believe, so they deprecated it. So can I use it with a C# or any other programming language other than a
No,
VB
sir.
as my
No,
macro?
no, sir. Only for the VB.
Okay.
Any question?
Okay, so to call off for this session, and we will meet again 2:30 p.m. for the next session.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.